Hi, I am RALF DOLOR, a third-year student taking up Bachelor of Physical Education at Negros Oriental State University. So in this video, I will be discussing to you the performance assessment. Without further ado, so let's start. So, hello everyone, this is RALF DOLOR, and today I will be discussing to you performance assessment. So, there are various forms of assessment have their purposes when administered and evaluated at the right time and in a right place. Teachers are fully familiar with standardized state and national tests. So with regards to higher level thinking and application of knowledge, it can be difficult to assess in the format of traditional tests. In other words, traditional assessments answers the questions, do you know it? While the performance assessment, on the other hand, answers the questions, how can you use what you know? So as we go along with our discussions today, we'll be able to explore the importance of performance assessment. Okay, so let's start with what is performance assessment. So here, performance assessments are engage students in activities and tasks that require application of knowledge and skills through creating of a presentation or product. So the performance is shorthand for performance-based or performance and product, and can be simple or complex. So performance assessment usually involves the demonstration and application of knowledge, skills, and other work habits through what is known as a performance task. It is important that the task should be meaningful and engaging to students. Tasks built around students' interests engage students and help them make connections to their personal lives. With this regard, to make tasks meaningful to students, provide an authentic audience to whom they will present their knowledge. So this gives them the purpose to apply effort to the task. When students perform tasks that are meaningful and engaging to them, they are able to take ownership of their learning and effectively work, either independently or in collaboration, depending on the requirement of the task. So next, performance assessment is also known as an alternative or authentic assessment. It is a form of testing that requires the students to perform a task rather than select an answer from a ready-made list. Alternative assessment and authentic assessment can be used synonymously with performance assessment. So when we talk about alternative assessment, it is any method that differs from conventional paper and pencil tests, while on the other hand, authentic assessment involves direct examination of students' ability to use knowledge to perform a real-life task. Okay, so let's now proceed to the characteristics of performance assessment. So, performance assessments are basically students explain and justify and defend themselves. Next, students use reasoning skills. So, also, they use engaging ideas of importance and substance. Next, typically no single correct answer and requires sustained work. And second to the last, use clear criteria and rubrics for scoring. And lastly, performance assessment, students perform, create, construct, produce, or do something based on what they have learned on a certain subject matter. So, there are also limitations of doing performance assessment, and these limitations lies in the three areas: the reliability, sampling, and time. So let's talk first on the reliability. So here, performance assessments are subject to considerable measurement errors. So there are errors also in doing performance assessment, specifically on its reliability. So here, major source of error is with scoring. and inconsistent student performance. So next, sampling. Here, it happens to be fewer samples of students' proficiency are available, and generalization can be more limited. So next, limitation of performance assessment is time. So first, to conduct tasks. So it is not easy to conduct tasks. It takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of time in doing such tasks. To develop scoring criteria and rubrics, again, it also needs effort and long time to create or developing scoring criteria and rubrics, to administer the task, to observe students. It can be difficult to interact in a timely manner, and lastly, it can be difficult to estimate time needed for students. Okay, so let's now proceed to the strengths and weaknesses of performance assessment. So let's see what are those strengths and weaknesses. So here in the table, there are two tables. The first column is for the strength and the second column is for the weaknesses. So in strength, integrates assessment with instruction. So while in the other column, weaknesses, reliability may be difficult to establish. So it's true because as what I have discussed a while ago, one of the limitations of performance assessment are its reliability. So next, for strength, learning occurs during assessment. That's true. And for weaknesses, measurement error due to subjective nature of the scoring may be significant. For next, provides opportunities for formative assessment, and that's for the strength. And for weaknesses, inconsistent student performance across time may result in inaccurate conclusions. For strength, again, tends to be more authentic than other type of assessment, while on the weaknesses, few samples of students' achievement. Again, so in strength, more engaging, active involvement of students, while on the weaknesses, requires considerable teacher time to prepare and student time to complete. So let's proceed on the other strength. It provides additional way for students to show what they know and what they can do. So hindi na ma-apply what students have gone so far in the middle of learning. So the weaknesses is difficult to plan and plan for amount of time needed. So the strength is emphasizes on reasoning skills. On the weaknesses, limited ability to generalize to larger domain of knowledge. So these are the remaining strengths. Forces teachers to establish specific criteria to identify successful performance, encourages student self-assessment, emphasizes on applications of knowledge, encourages examination of instructional goals and purposes of schooling. So an example of performance assessment is that since this assessment requires the students to show what they know rather than select answers from predetermined options on a multiple choice tests. Examples of performance assessments include composing a few sentences in an open-ended short response. Another thing is that developing a thorough analysis in an essays, or conducting a laboratory investigations, curating a portfolio of students' work, and completing an original research paper. So those are examples of performance assessment. And this ends my discussion. I hope you have learned something. Thank you and God bless us all.